Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Age 40 Years. My name is Greg, and today we're getting into another product review. So, before we get started, just a reminder, if you would, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment if you have some feedback on what we're doing here. Of course, share it with your friends if you would. It helps me as I just kind of continue trying to grow some reach. Really trying to grow the reach more just to have more people to interact with. But anyway, we're back on to another bottle review. Now lately I've been doing more of the special release, some of the stuff that's more limited. Not limited in availability, but limited in that, hey, maybe it's a once a year run or just not as common of a product, maybe not in your market. Well, this is a Buffalo Trace product today. It is Weller 107, Weller Antique, OWA, Old Weller 107. You know, got lots of names. Some of them four-letter words because I think people have been frustrated with the scarcity of the bottle. But this is a 107 proof wheated offering from Buffalo Trace, 53.5% alcohol by volume. And you know, I thought we'd go back in and explore the Weller lineup again at a different spot. So I've done the Weller 12 to this point. But I thought, hey, let's go ahead and get into the 107. For you, this might not be very easy to find. For me, it's not either. But I do think that it's becoming more available, and seems more stores are having it or have opportunity to get it. So I thought it'd be a good time to go ahead and give it a taste and see what we think. So with that, I think you know, it's October here in South Carolina. It's a great time of year to be trying some whiskey, both outside, inside. Of course, I'm back here where I normally taste it, but figured we'd get into one and just kind of see what we think. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the nose. Okay, initial nose hits you with cinnamon. Right out of the gate, cinnamon, oak. I mean, you get an appley smell in there, and it really just kind of translates. Oh, now you get like almost that sourness of a green apple, just a touch of it with that cinnamon. It's a real nice like apple pie thing going on there. That's really good. It's very complex. There's a lot going on in there. On the back end, I get a little bit of anise, licorice. Just a touch, but it's nice. I mean, this is a thing that I think Buffalo Trace does so well, is they balance their product. This is complex. It's balanced. It's got a lot to offer. It's not overpowering you like, hey, I'm all oak or I'm all cherries, or it's just straight caramel bomb. It's none of that. It's just really well balanced. I think it's why they've been so popular. It's a little sweeter, but I think that's what's really led to the growth in Buffalo Trace and the growth in demand. Is it's this a really great way to kind of get into these. Now, as a reminder, this one at the 107 is a little bit higher proof than the Special Reserve and a little higher than the Weller 12. Lower proof generally than the full proof. This is not a store pick, so just your standard fare. But it's supposed to be part of their regular offering. Now, what is Weller regular offering over the last 5-6 years? It's been non-existent. But intentionally, it's supposed to be a Special Reserve, the 107 and the 12. Then you add in the full proof, you add in the single barrel, you add in the CYPB, you add in the William LaRue Weller out of the Antique collection. And that's kind of their lineup. I'm probably missing something in there like Weller Millennium and some of the other stuff they've released. But that's, in general, their lineup. For me, I find that this one, the 12 and the Special Reserve, are a little bit easier to locate, but still pretty challenging for this one and the 12 at times, but I think becoming more available. And with that nose, I don't think it's ever gonna be super easy. So great nose, really complex and balanced, and really, really nice job. Now the palate, again, instantly that cinnamon, but I get some sweetness in there, almost like a pecan pie. Now, I'm not from the South. I live in the South, not from the South. everybody around me calls it a pecan pie, which I think is ridiculous. It's a pecan pie. I also call pop like a good Midwesterner should, and people around here call it soda. Now my wife, also from the Midwest, but she has become a trader and now calls pop soda. So anyway, pecan pie, not pecan pie, but a nice little sweetness in there, like a confectionery sweetness. I think the cinnamon carries through nicely. I think the wheatedness of this bourbon really helps keep the proof in check. It is there, but it's not overwhelming in any sense of the matter. And I think that wheat does a great job in this and in the Bardstown and some of the makers like higher proof stuff. It does a great job of just kind of holding that at bay. And that's a really great palate. It's similar to the nose. It's complex. I like the cinnamon in there. And then it translates into, and it's got your typical vanilla and caramel, but more of that sweet pecan pie, just kind of flavor. And then into the finish, what I would say is it's got a nice hug in here, which I really appreciate. And I've never really thought of this bourbon in this way, but I kind of think this is making a case for a great fall pour, which is funny given when I'm doing this review. But you think of it, starts with cinnamon and apple pie on the nose. It's got a nice little warming proof point. It translates into the palate that's got that pecan pie sweetness, still some of that cinnamon, a little bit of the oak and the classic flavors of the caramel and the vanillas. And then on the finish, it's got that kind of that higher proof that again is a little bit more warming. It hugs, it sticks around for a little while, leaves a nice little sweet flavor on the mouth. When you think about what you want to drink when you're sitting out by a bonfire, and that right there is pretty spot on. So maybe there's some logic behind the red label on here. It's kind of got that red fall maroon kind of label. Hey, I don't know if that was intentional, but if it wasn't, it should be. So a really good just progression from start to finish on this one as you work your way through the bourbon. I will say again, just like most Buffalo Trace product, they do a great job of balancing this thing. I wouldn't say that it's anything overpowering of any flavor. It's got a nice progression from the cinnamon, which is, you're right, it's gonna be a little bit more spicy, into more sweet, and then back and forth, and it just really does a nice job of delivering a complete product. So as we get into the review of this, what would I say? I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I knew going into this isn't my first time having this. In fact, I've had a good bit of this through the years. I really like this one. I think this is my favorite of the Weller lineup. I'll pass up some of the other stuff. I'm not going to go chase the price points of the CYPB or the single barrel. If I can settle in here, this bottle I purchased for $70, and I do have a backup that's actually a store pick that I purchased for $65. If you can find this bottle at, I'd say, under $90, it's a buy every time. I really like this bottle. I always have liked this bottle. I think it's a great step up from the 12 and the reason I say from the 12, even though the 12's got some age, the 12 needs a higher proof point. The Special Reserve, great entry bourbon, helps get you past the Basil Hayden's and some of the others, really sweet. But this is where Weller really starts to take off, and at a price point that I think it is very fair and affordable. Now, still very difficult to find. I understand that. Becoming more available, but overall still a little difficult to find. So I'm going to score this. If you can find it for the price I paid, $70, I'm scoring this a 9, 9.2, that range. It is a definite back it up. Like I said, I've got one myself. I think it is the best product in the Weller lineup. One of my favorites in the Buffalo Trace lineup in general. But, like I said, I think it's just nice, complex, balanced, nothing overwhelming along the way. Just a great product and a great fall item. That's something that's new for me. I hadn't really considered that. But I think as we talk about fall, I sit here in October. I know it's going to be cool tonight, sitting out on the patio, watching a football game, had the fire going. This is a great pour to have by your side. So hopefully you can find it in your market. Let me know what you think. Has it been impossible to find? Are you seeing it more readily? I hear, in places like Ohio and other areas, California, it's sitting on shelves at times. That's crazy to me. But tell me if you can find it. Tell me what you think. What's your favorite Weller product? And as always, I'd ask you, please drink responsibly, and cheers.